I often get asked this question of, is it too late? And feel the emotions coming up. It's really hard to answer because the reality is it's already too late for a lot of people. It's already too late for the 33 million people who have lost their homes in Pakistan. It's too late for the 1.5 million people in Nigeria who have not even made the headlines. Even if we were to stop emitting tomorrow, it's already too late for the millions of people who we've chosen to sacrifice in pursuit of greed, and so that we can maintain our comforts, those of us in a bubble of climate privilege. And so I find it hard to hold on to hope sometimes. Not because it's heavy, but because I don't see that heaviness reflected in the culture and the society around me. That's what we hear all the time from the young people who are living through the climate crisis, the young people who feel the eco-anxiety. They feel these emotions not because of the enormity of the crisis, but because of inaction in the face of it. Because companies are still arguing whether they should or shouldn't take action on this crisis because they're being driven by profit, as opposed to making the decision to safeguard the lives of the people who are most vulnerable to the climate crisis, and instead of acting on the opportunity that solving this crisis presents us with. We've not failed to solve the climate crisis because we don't have the resources or money or ingenuity. We have all of those things. It's because we lack the political will. 6.6 million people have died from the pandemic, and the world shut down for 2 years. Every year, 10 million people die from air pollution. Now, what's the difference between those 6.6 million people and those 10 million people? The people who are already living through climate injustice today are predominantly poor people, Black and brown people, people in the global South, people who are not in the seats of privilege that everyone sat in this room today are in. And so I don't feel quote unquote hopeful, but I do feel determined because my privilege warrants that I have to be determined and I have to show up. I disagree with the statement that despair comes from a place of privilege. I think despair is a really rational response, but I think defeatism comes from a place of privilege because the people already living through climate change don't have the choice. The people who've lost their homes this year don't have any other option. The young people who are inheriting this as our future, we don't have an alternative. And so for me, there is no choice but to take action.